السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أهلا بكم في برنامج نيوكاسل مع وليد. طبعا اليوم نتكلم عن الفورمولا 1 and as we see Mr. Ferrari driver, he's very excited. Christopher, welcome Christopher.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam. So what is the latest for Formula today, the big races?
Yes, so we're
and you are in the lead, I believe.
Thank you. If you put me in the Mercedes car, I wouldn't want to do this show because I don't like Mercedes. I don't like Lewis Hamilton. As you can tell, I'm a proud Ferrarista. As they call this, they call the Ferrari supporters the tifosi. But
for me, I like BMW.
Yes,
no, they are not in the league.
Yes. Well, Ferrari has not, as I was telling you earlier, Ferrari has not won a drivers' championship since 2007 with Kimi Raikkonen, and they haven't won a constructors' championship since 2008. So it's kind of like the Newcastle of Formula 1. Like, they used to be good and they won championships many years ago, but not recently.
What about BMW? They have a team, so I can support.
BMW is involved in other motorsports, but not Formula 1. I think they've been involved in Formula 1 in the past, but not recently. But I think there's some talk that they're going to enter in the future, but nothing. It's a very tight community, requires a lot of money and drivers, so nothing to report on the horizon for BMW.
And I believe you watched some of the race, the experiment, the experience, some tours, because they're trying the field. I think they have a special way to start the race. It's just not the race and finish. They have some preparation. When I was reading about. So what you can tell us about it, Chris?
I'm not sure what you're talking about exactly. I mean, it's going to be a normal start as far as I understand. But basically,
oh, sorry, there's wrong video. I just sorry.
We are so just to set the scene. As I don't need to tell F1 fans, but for those who are just learning about F1, don't know much about it. This is the first time the race has been in Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
We've got one more race after this for the championship, and going into the final race, we've got Lewis Hamilton is trailing Max Verstappen by 8 points in the drivers championship. And Mercedes is leading in the constructors championship. So even if Lewis Hamilton wins today's race and next week's race, as long as Max Verstappen finishes second or close to the top, Max Verstappen will win his first drivers championship, and he will deny Lewis Hamilton from winning his 8th championship, which would be
Chris, I'm a bit confused. Mercedes and Red Bull. It is an energetic drink. They have cars, or how is it work?
Yeah, they have football teams. Like Red Bull,
Salzburg. Yeah, but I mean, who making them the cars?
So it is the big conglomerate that includes energy drinks is Red Bull. Yes.
Yeah, but who make the engines?
Red Bull does now. It used to be from Honda, but they, if you in the last couple of seasons, they ended their relationship with Honda, and now Red Bull designs their own engines.
I see. Brilliant. I will tell you exactly what I meant by preparation.
Okay.
This race have 3 days. They start Friday, Saturday, and today is the final. So on first day, they said a session of Formula 2.
Yes.
So I think there is championship and Premier League.
Yes.
There is Formula 2. It's not Formula 1. There is Formula 2, which first time I heard about it. There is a session exercise session.
Yes. Practice.
So they just and this is fixed and with a schedule. They practice. They're not just.
Tom Dixon, we are going to discuss football at some point, but right now Formula 1.
Oh my God, Tom Dixon!
Thank you for tuning in, Tom.
Thank you, Tom. We will talk about Newcastle. Any show.
If you don't want to talk about Formula 1, I hope you stick around for the football talk later. But we're going to talk Formula 1 for now.
Yeah. So they said, experiment. Let's not like runners, 100 meters race.
No, so
they can practice at their own, but they have to try the field, the new area.
Yes. So every Formula 1 weekend includes practice, and then three sessions of qualifying. Q1, Q2, and Q3. So you have 3 chances to qualify. Do your fast lap, and by the end of Q3 they've set the grid, and the grid is determined by the fastest lap. The first fastest lap gets the pole position, P1, and then the other cars in order of the fastest lap determine the rest of the grid. There's three cars per. I'm sorry. There's 20 cars in the race, and then the grid is going from order of the fastest qualifying to the least fastest qualifying. So this is how. But they have introduced a new thing this year where in addition to the qualifying, they do like a little mini race, and that also determines the order. And what happened in the qualifying is that Max Verstappen was about to set the fastest lap, and on the last turn of the track, he crashed his car. So that lap didn't count, and so it reverted back to his previous fastest lap, which was only good enough for 3rd place. So he starts third on the grid behind the 2 Mercedes of.
You mean this the accident?
Yes. He starts 3rd on the grid behind the two Mercedes, behind Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas. So what Bottas will do is he will try to block Max Verstappen from coming up second, because he wants to keep Max Verstappen as far back in the field as possible. And even though he's not in the lead, he wants to protect his team, because the Mercedes team is also in the constructors lead. So he wants to help his teammate Lewis Hamilton get the win if possible, and then to keep within touching distance of Max Verstappen. But Max Verstappen is still in the prime position to win the title. It just has to finish strong in the last 2 races. It doesn't have to win either of them. But if he wins today, and Lewis Hamilton is not within the top 5, then that's pretty much the title sewn up. But anything can happen in this race and in the final race.
Okay, Chris, regarding this incident, and as we talk about it, there is some Abdurrahman Galoom. He's the president of. It's very difficult. I work in hospital. Autopsy of the car. Examination of the cars. He talking. This is normal. This is happen always, and the car will go again to the race.
Yes,
that's what he said. There is a video, and I will translate it because I didn't have time to translate it in written.
معنا مع الاف اي اي ديليجيت اللي يسمونه مسؤول عن الفحص الفني. شرح حق السكوتينير الفاحصين، هاي كلهم فاحصين. شنو الاشياء اللي لازم يقدروا يسوونها، وشنو التشيك اللي يسوونها على السيارات، وشنو اللي ما يقدرون يسوونها. كل الاشياء السيفتي تكلم عنهم. وشنو اذا جات سياره في الجراج شو يسوون، تطلع من الجراج شو يسوون، تروح على الجريد في السباق شو يسوون. عندنا يسمونها تاير تشيكرز، عنده سكان يشيك التاير اللي مركب على السياره هل هو صحيح التاير اللي مركب ولا غير. هاي الاشياء اللي.
طيب احنا امس يعني في اخر سباق امس شفنا صار في حادث السيارات، احد سيارات فيراري.
ايوه.
هل هذه بعد السياره راح تسوون لها تشيك اليوم؟ ممكن تدخل ممكن ما تدخل، يعني في احتماليه؟
والله اكثر اوقات في الفورمولا 1 سياره تنتف كامل يسوونها يوم ثاني
وتدخل السباق عادي.
نعم. تدخل السباق بعض عقب الفحص الفردي كامل يصير لها تدخل السباق.
طيب انتم الاجتماع اللي اليوم صار هذا خاص بس باليوم؟ كل يوم في اجتماع ولا هو اجتماع اليوم وبكره يعني؟ لان السباق احنا عارفين
كان
بكره.
امس واليوم. هذا امس كان حق اجتماع مال امس اللي صار.
إيه؟
هاي الاجتماع مال اليوم وبكره.
بكره
لان بكره ما عندنا وقت حق اجتماعات.
اي لانه بكره السباق.
خلاص
الله يوفقكم.
مشكور. شكرا.
يعني شكرا جزيلا.
شكرا.
Okay, this is interesting.
Bukra.
First, Bukra, tomorrow. Okay, he said they are from examination team of the car. They have checklists, and there is protocol, clear protocol for everything. Everyone have his own job. And he asked him about Ferrari accident, the one you mentioned.
Yes.
He said the car will be ready in the next day. Even if the car is totally damaged, second day they can put it again in the car. I don't know how is that, but this is what he said.
Yes, they have amazing mechanics that work very hard.
Yeah. Yes. Actually, I have BM car, and I still maybe now 4 months didn't fix yet.
Oh.
They're waiting for parts and looking for parts. So apparently they have the parts ready, mashallah. Yani they have the parts ready. They damaged, second day done.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, mashallah, كويس. And he this is brilliant. And he said about meetings, when you say Bukra, he said we have meetings only the first 2 days, Friday and Saturday. Sunday we'll no meetings because it's the big race. So this was the sum up for what he said. So this is amazing. And okay, there is something here. Let's back for what he was before. What is Porsche Sprint? If you don't know, I will pass.
So the Sprint is what I was talking about. Is this
Porsche cars?
Porsche Sprint? That is a non-Formula One race which happened on the same track. It's like modified street cars. It's a different series of race, and so they were racing on the same circuit. I saw this happen last night.
I see, because I see some drivers and some racers. How you call a Formula driver? How you call him? Driver. Oh, fine, okay. I saw some.
It sounds better in Italian. It's piloti.
Piloti.
Pilot.
Actually, piloti. Actually, there is a player named Piloti in Italian team. Anyway.
No, that's Piloti.
Yeah, so the same.
P.
Right.
The letter that you don't have in Arabic.
Yeah, it's okay, no man. Because actually, I saw some young girl, and they said that she's a Formula or she's a driver. I said, how? This looked very dangerous and very. But as you said, there's modified stuff and some cars.
Are you talking about Sophia Florsch?
Maybe, I don't know.
She drives. She's a 20-year-old. Well, now 21.
Yes, I think. Yeah, I see. This can't be a driver for Formula One. It's dangerous.
She's very famous. She drove in DTM, which is a German series, and she also drove in the 24 Hours of Le Mans. But I was watching the 24 Hours of Le Mans, and it comes at night, and her car stalled out in the middle of the track, and then she was hit by a car that didn't see her. So they show her in the cockpit, she stalled, and then she gets upset because a car slammed into her from behind.
Yeah, but is this the one you said earlier? It's late. They were late because of this incident, or there's something else?
No. Today we haven't discussed it. So in the Formula 2, which is the championship of the Premier League of the F1, what happened at the start of the Formula 2 race is the car that was third on the grid stalled out at the start, and so other cars tried to avoid the car, but one car didn't see him and smashed directly into the back of the stalled car, and so that delayed the race for 45 minutes. So what was supposed to be like a 40-lap race ended up being a 20-minute race plus 1 lap. And this, if you're watching right now, this is they're having a moment of silence for Frank Williams, who was a team principal of the Williams team, and had many successful drivers like Ayrton Senna and other people who drove for Williams, and he recently passed away. So they're just there's a number of tributes, and so they just had a moment of silence, and now they're having a minute of applause, as they would do at a Premier League team to honor one of the greats of the sport. So he's was a legend of the industry, and sorely missed.
Before there is, I want to, I have video to explain how they built the circuit. It's called Jeddah Corniche Circuit.
Okay.
Jeddah is a big city, or second big city in Saudi Arabia, on the west of Saudi Arabia, and after that, we would like to talk about some details about this ring, this Jeddah circuit, this rings. And also I have some questions for you.
Okay. Yeah,
for me, for me,
but
I will ask you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right, so let's play the video. This is explain how it's built in few months. I think 6 or 7 months, I think. From zero, from scratch. Impressive. Here's the video. What do you think, Chris?
It seems like a very, very cool track. I like all of the modern tracks that they built in the Middle East, in Qatar, and Abu Dhabi, and now in Jeddah, because number one, they race at night, so I think it just looks cooler when it's all the lights and racing at night. Of course, you wouldn't want to race in the middle of the day in Saudi Arabia when it's like 35 degrees or something. Maybe it's a little cooler now, but on the track it'd probably be like closer to 40. So good that they race at night. It's cooler. People are more comfortable to watch outside. And it just looks really cool with all the lights and the buildings that they've built around it. And as part of the Formula One race, I saw in Jeddah, of course, they're building the what's going to be the world's tallest building, the 1 kilometer tall tower, which is amazing, and will be taller than the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. So that's cool. So I hope to, inshallah, visit Jeddah someday. And
I have some sites.
We'll do a show on Riyadh together sometime.
Yeah, of course. And I will tell you, we have bar today to talk about Jeddah. What you will do, what you can do in Jeddah quickly. I'm wondering why just 3 days? Why it's not more?
Well, they like I said, they only have Formula 2 and Formula 1 are the races, and they have, as far as the practice, I mean, there are different places every couple weeks or every week, so they only have a couple days of practice, and then qualifying, and then the race. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let's talk about the rings.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Here it says one round. It's 6 kilo. Because here we use kilometer.
Okay.
6 kilo, 0.175 meters.
Okay.
Okay. They're talking about Jeddah Corniche ring or circuit, being designed by the famous Herman Tilke. This ring have a lot of features, which is appear first time in Formula 1, and this is big motivation to the drivers to go to the maximum speed available or allowed, and to increase the excitement of the race. Jeddah city now on a date to change the rules of Formula races around the world. They have 27 hard turn. I don't know what you call it. Hard turn, you know?
Yeah, sharp turns.
Sharp turn, yes, sharp turn. 27 and 3 area specific. Oh, that's difficult. 3 region, especially for decrease the cloud. All right. Again, here we have also, it says 27 sharp turn, 16 to the left, 11 to the right, and this, making this ring consider the highest number of sharp turn circuit in the world.
Yes, very.
Yes, and this is only one feature, and not to mention the other features available. And they wish every luck for the participants. They said the average of velocity is 252 kilometers per hour.
Yes, it's the fastest circuit, I think, street circuit on there.
Yeah, it's I think this is considered the fastest race to be hosted on a city, inside a city in the whole world, not like countryside or away from the city. It's in the city center. It's like in the Corniche.
If you go to the Silverstone race, it's in the middle of Norfolk.
Yeah,
in England, and that's where all the Formula 1 teams have their base there, most of them.
All right. So before we're going to Jeddah, let's talk. Okay, let's talk to Jeddah, and because we have a lot of details about Hamilton and Max, and some, and I know that luckily you know all about it. So what you will do, what you can do in Jeddah, a lot of things, but this is mentioned especially in this program. There is a Tayyibat museum. It's having a lot of the history of the past for Jeddah city. Also aquarium, it's called Faqih Aquarium. They have a lot of miracles or a lot of interesting from the Red Sea, because Jeddah is located on the Red Sea, and there is the big fountain. It's very famous, and it's the highest in the world. Fountain reached 312 meters. Jeddah market, they have old markets, They have the a lot of handmade rags and a lot of any the things being made from the cotton and fabric and stuff. Don't tell me about the food. The food is delicious. They have a lot of different blades from all over the world, because Jeddah actually it's a lot of tribal lived in Jeddah from different areas because Al-Hajj in Saudi Arabia before. So a lot of countries and a lot of tradition food from different places. Okay, that's quick. Yeah, and there is a history neighborhood. They say it's called Jeddah Al-Balad. It's one of the most old history neighborhood. It's called Hayy Al-Baladi. Hayy Al-Balad. Yes. So, okay. So I just download this one, Chris, and you will tell us about it. It's today race. It's all about this paper. There is English and Arabic. Oh, unfortunately, it's a small.
Yes.
Okay. So maybe I could read. Oh, even the Arabic. But Hamilton in the first.
Yes.
Auckland.
I
don't know. Max in the second.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically they are.
Max is third.
The third. Okay. Max. I have here maybe better picture. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to tell me. Yeah, tell me about what's the difference between individual and construction.
Okay, so the individual, each race you get points for being in the top 5, I believe. And the difference between the individual and the constructors is the individual is this one driver, the best drivers, how many points they got each race for the season. You also get a point for having the fastest lap. So even if you finished 5th, whatever, 6th, and you didn't get a point for the finish, you can get a point for the fast lap. So the Constructors' Championship is simply adding up. There's 10 teams. Each team has 2 drivers. And for the constructors, you add up both of your drivers. So in this case, if you want to go to the other one, show the constructors.
Yeah. But I'm confused. 9 wins have 350 points. Wow.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to compare it to football.
Yeah, I'm not going to break down how many points you get for each win, but definitely you want to be in the top 5 to score maximum points. Okay. Top 10 gets you other points. So and here in the driver standings, going into the final 2 races, Max Verstappen has an 8-point lead over this is different. This is the qualifying. Max Verstappen has an 8-point lead over Lewis Hamilton going to the final 2 races, and then the Constructors' Championship. Oh, can you go back to the previous one, Mercedes?
Yeah, sure.
So in the Constructors' Championship, there's a 5-point lead in the Constructors' Championship because Valtteri Bottas, the second driver from Mercedes, is in a better position than the second driver for Red Bull. So let's go back to the. Can you go back to the overall standings? Yeah. So you have Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes. Mercedes is 2 and 3, and Red Bull is 1 and 4. So if you add up 351 and 190, that's going to be a little bit less than 343.5 and 203. So that's why Mercedes has the slight lead in the Constructors' Championship. But even though Max Verstappen's lead in the drivers' 8 points is greater than the lead that Mercedes has over Red Bull, 5 points for the constructors.
So okay, about the constructions.
Yes.
Yeah, هو يعني so you supporting Max, you said, right?
I personally, yes, I personally support Max Verstappen over Lewis Hamilton. Never liked Lewis Hamilton, and even though I'm a Ferrarista at Tifosi, the last time that Ferrari had a drivers' championship was 2007. Kimi Raikkonen, and the last time they won a constructors championship was 2008. And as I was telling you in our WhatsApp before, in 2008 they came out with a special series car called the 16M for 16th manufacturers championship, and they haven't won a manufacturers championship since 2008. So the car is a great car, is a very limited convertible version of the Ferrari F430, the 16M. Yes. So not since the days of Michael Schumacher who was essential in designing the car. Not since the days of Michael Schumacher has Ferrari won either a drivers' championship or the constructors' championship. So they have the most passionate fans. They just haven't had the best drivers, and so even though they have some home races in Italy and they do well there, they just haven't been able to put together a full season, and no one's been able to beat Lewis Hamilton for 7 years. So this is why this race is such a big deal, because Max Verstappen is closing in on his first driver's championship. It'll be the first time that Lewis Hamilton has not won a driver's championship in 7 years, and of course he's now tied with the aforementioned Michael Schumacher for the most drivers' titles. And so if he wins the title this year, he would have the most titles of all time. He already has the most races won of all time, and then he would add his eighth championship, his driver's championship, and that would be the most all time. So he won his first driver's championship with McLaren when McLaren was McLaren Mercedes, and then when Mercedes went off on its own team and split from McLaren, that's when he's won his other 6 titles in a row, and he's looking for 7th. And Max Verstappen and Red Bull want to deny him that record championship.
Yeah, so big day, especially.
Yeah, we have a question from LZM.
Yes, we'll see. He said where we'll watch the official coverage, so he doesn't happy with our coverage.
Thanks. Shukran.
Alright, so طبعا اكيد تشوفها بالقنوات السعوديه الرياضيه اكيد SSC طبعا. Chris, I want you please يعني I have no much details about the race, يعني I am confused. So today is the big race.
Yes.
And it was just exercise or some minor activities the 2 days, as we see some exercise.
No, so, they always have practice, because this is a new track.
My question, Chris, they are not start yet.
No, they don't start until 5:30.
Okay, so is it gonna be one? It's gonna be one race.
One race, yes.
One race going to those all this sharp turn.
Yes,
and there will be
many crashes.
There will be many crashes.
Yes, because there's only on the ends is there enough room to come off.
Okay.
The walls are very close to the track, so there's not.
When they qualify before or in these past 2 days? They qualify for the big race.
Yes, they qualified yesterday.
That's what I meant. Okay, so it wasn't just a practice; it was qualification.
Practice Friday, qualification Saturday, race Sunday.
That's brilliant.
The same format in every race weekend.
Yes. So brilliant, Chris. So one more question: are they gonna start together, or separately, and they just count the time?
No, they what they do is they will line up in the order of the qualification.
Oh,
And
though,
then-
so it's
So,
okay.
yeah,
So
so they will set off on one lap to get the tires warm, because if you know anything about car racing, you need to have tires warm, otherwise they have no grip. So to warm up the tires for the maximum grip, they will follow around the safety car for one lap. It's like a sighting lap. They will go around the track slowly in order for one lap, and then they will come back to the grid. And then, as they say, the lights go out. You'll see above there'll be 5 red lights, and then 4, 3, 2, 1, and then the lights go out, and then that's when they rev their engines and go up to 200 miles per hour on this very narrow.
but Chris, they are 20, so they
Yeah.
they all will be start together.
Yes, very tight. So the first lap is often very exciting, because it's like who can beat each other to the first turn. So often the pole sitter loses his place on the first lap, or people will pass each other on the first lap. This is very interesting because it's a very narrow track, so there's not a lot of room to pass, to overtake,
Yeah.
as they will say.
And this is normal. This is normal.
Some tracks are narrower than other tracks. Like if you go to Silverstone, there's plenty of room to pass. You can go off the track because it's sort of it's a flat track that's kind of in the middle of a big. The Silverstone track used to be a World War II an airfield, like an airport for the military. So that's what a lot of the tracks in the UK are built on former Air Force base. So they have a big open space, and so they can put the grid. And the way that Silverstone in the UK is constructed, they actually use the old runways, which are crossed. They use them for the track. So going back to this race, yes, this is a very narrow track. There's not a lot of runoff. So there's either not going to be a lot of passing, overtaking. So the qualification was more important because it's going to be harder for Max Verstappen to pass the 2 Mercedes cars ahead of him on this narrow track. If he doesn't get on the first lap, it'll be hard. It'll be down to the. There's also the strategy of what tires you put: soft, medium, hard tires on your car, and then the soft tires will last the least, and the hard tires will last the longest, but not give you as good grip. So it's a question of when do you put your car in to the pits to change the tires or make adjustments, and do you do that when you're ahead or when you're behind? There's a whole lot of strategy involved, and that's why each of the drivers has his race director is on the race radio, talking to him the whole time, telling him, okay, this is when you should accelerate and overtake. And so there's a whole lot of in race tactics, something we miss under Steve Bruce, tactics.
Oh, you ruined it, mate. Okay, so okay, I get this now. So in order, they put these 20 drivers in order, yes, regarding their qualification record yesterday, yes, and the goal of that, to give each other room, good enough room when they are starting the race, right?
Yes,
But
go ahead.
Yeah, it doesn't seem fair for the one who's in 20. You're not gonna make it. This is my analysis.
Well, that's the problem for having the slowest car. And what's actually worse than that is that a typical race, there are cars that go one lap down. So Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen will be coming on the track, and they'll be trying to pass cars ahead of them that are one lap behind them. So it's not only do you have to pass the guy in front of you in the race, but you have to pass guys who are like a lap behind you, who are just in your way.
So big chances just for the first three, they can make it.
Yes. Typically, the race is won by one of the top qualifiers.
Yes.
There are rare examples when, like due to like a grid penalty, like you might get a penalty and qualify first but start sixth. And so there's times when like Hamilton has been like down 8 or 10 to start and passed all the cars to win. And then there's times when like Max Verstappen was. I don't know if he's actually done that, but he's definitely finished second when he's been penalized and started 10th or so.
Okay, this is very interesting information, Chris. Let's talk about the main drivers. They could possibly win. We have Lewis Hamilton, and I'm surprised why you are not supporting Lewis Hamilton.
I never liked Lewis Hamilton.
Why?
It's one thing to be cocky. I just don't like his attitude, and also he's done a great. I'll start by praising him. He's done a great job for standing up for social issues, Black Lives Matter, more representation in the sport. I applaud him for that.
Okay.
I just don't kind of like his kind of off-track lifestyle, driving around in his millions of dollars cars and crashing them. And
I see.
And just he's. I mean, there's no requirement you'd be a nice guy. Max Verstappen is probably not a nice guy either. It's just there's a difference between confidence and arrogance, and I feel like Lewis Hamilton. I mean, you could say he's arrogant because he has 7 titles, so he can back up his kind of personality. But I prefer the drivers that kind of just focus on the race, and he's building up this sort of personality as like a worldwide celebrity beyond the driving, which maybe he's earned because he's got the seven world championships. But like I said, I've always been into the sort of history and mystique of Ferrari, having visited the home of Ferrari in Maranello and the home track of Fiorano. I've never been to an F1 race. I would love to go to the either to Silverstone in the UK or to Monza in Italy. But yeah, I've just always been into the whole history of Ferrari and its association with great drivers, and Michael Schumacher, is historically probably, he and Ayrton Senna are probably up there with Lewis Hamilton in terms of who's the best driver. And, because the 2 of them didn't drive against Lewis Hamilton, Lewis Hamilton fans will say Lewis Hamilton's the best driver ever. And
but Chris, he's very young and he's almost 36, so still he have a lot of title to win. So he definitely will break Schumacher.
He will break it, but I think he's not going to be still driving when he's like late 30s. I think he'll drive a couple more years. He's signed an extension, I think, with there's always speculation that he'll leave Mercedes, but he signed an extension, I think. So he'll drive with he'll have a new teammate next year. George Russell will come from the Williams team that I mentioned. George Russell will be the number 2 to Mercedes, and Valtteri Bottas will go drive for Alfa Romeo, who is kind of the sister team to Ferrari. There's kind of an agreement with Ferrari that Ferrari will take the best drivers from Alfa Romeo. So that's why Charles Leclerc, who used to be a Alfa Romeo driver, is now the number 1 driver for Mercedes, number 1 driver for for Ferrari. Charles Leclerc used to be a Alfa Romeo driver, now drives for Ferrari.
Regarding Max Verstappen,
yes,
he's very young.
Yes,
He's 27.
So I'm not sure if he will be the youngest ever Formula One.
Yeah, okay. I have here something about him. He said he was age 17 and 160 days. He became the youngest driver to compete in Formula One.
Yes, but I'm not sure whether he will be the youngest if he wins this year. I think he might be the youngest driver to win the championship. I could be wrong about that, but he's certainly one of the youngest, if not the youngest.
Okay,
But again, he's
24, 25.
He's in the lead. He's eight points in the lead, but anything can happen in the last two races. But the key is that even if Lewis Hamilton wins both races, as long as Max Verstappen finishes like second or third, he won't overtake Max for the title.
But how many? He never win, Max.
He has not won a title.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I think this is also, this races need experience. So I can't see him have it. I don't know.
Well,
just
I mean, he's had the lead twice in the series, in the drivers' championship, and lost it twice and regained it 3 times, I think. Yeah.
But when I see the record of the it's very close.
Wait, you put the wrong.
No.
Tom, that's for Tom Dixon.
yeah, Tom. I think he's the only one who watches now. So
yeah.
Oh, this here is the game. What is it? Where did it go? Here.
I have my YouTube on, so that counts for one person.
Okay, so but Lewis Hamilton.
More people will watch us later and see how great the show was, and wish they watched us live.
But Max, he have more points in the individual.
So he's got the 8-point lead in the individual, but and I forget the points breakdown for first, second. But if Lewis Hamilton finishes first and Max finishes second, Max will still be in the lead for the final race.
Brilliant. So that was very interesting. Chris, good luck for for me, we have to support England. Good luck for Lewis Hamilton.
Okay.
Also good luck also for Max as well.
Sorry.
And for you, for Ferrari.
Okay.
This is really Formula is very interested, and I hope my friend here, Alzam, find the official coverage, and this is for me a really weird world, which Red Bull have their own engine.
What channel is it on in Saudi? Is it on our friends BN Sport?
Actually, if it's in Saudi, I think it's of course the Saudi sport channel SSC.
Okay.
Because this is the only Saudi channel we have for sport.
Okay.
Also, there is Saudi Arabia channel number 1, but I think this is the main channels for sport. So it's S1.
I'll find the Saudi highlights on YouTube.
Yes, SSC. Yeah. So okay, now okay, fine. Let's go to talk a bit. And we have 10 minutes more for Newcastle.
Okay.
And
is Tom still here?
Who's that?
Tom.
Yeah.
He's still here.
Yeah. Okay. Congratulations, all Newcastle fans, and you, Chris, for the good result yesterday.
Yes.
And this is the result today. In Arabic, Leeds draw with Brentford. Manchester United win over Crystal Palace. Tottenham, thank you, Tottenham. They beat Norwich City 3-0. And Aston Villa and Leicester, I think they are playing now. So if you can check it, who got the lead, or they still draw?
It's a 1-1 draw.
Okay.
So
it's good. It's good. That's good.
Live standings is Newcastle is on 10 points.
Yeah, here we have it here.
3 points from safety. Yes.
So what make me relax, Chris, is 12th place, Crystal Palace, only 6 points.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Yes, exactly. It's nothing. So no, it's not مشكلة. Aston Villa, if they draw, they will become 17. and Leicester become 20.
Oh, I mean, sorry, it's Muffy, not
ما في مشكلة.
Yeah.
All right. So this is very cool. Let's go to comments. Okay. Tom Dixon. Looking at the next Newcastle fixture.
This is a
12,
problem.
12?
Everyone concentrates on December, but if you look at January, January is pretty easy.
Yeah, but I know why. Maybe because
So everyone's focused on
this
one
is
month.
this is before the market.
I know we have to play every team twice, so it's not a surprise. It's just we'll have a tough December. Yes, I think with the recent results, whatever happens in December will be within touching distance, and so there's not going to be one player in January that's going to say, "Oh, I was going to sign with Newcastle in November, but now it's January and I'm not going to sign with them." I have to believe. I believe with my some of the other channels have supposed that there are already players who have already had agreements lined up because there's nothing to prevent the deals from already being done. They just can't be announced until January. So I think it'll be very interesting to see whether in the first couple of days of January whether there'll be deals announced, because that means that, of course, they had the deals lined up before. Or I hope it doesn't come to this thing like we've seen in every other window where it's the end of January, we haven't signed anyone, and we're talking about loans. In some cases, loans will be good, but I don't think this will be the 5th year in a row we're talking about Hamza Chowdhury coming in on loan.
Yes. Yeah, no Hamza Chowdhury.
No Hamza Chowdhury, sorry.
Yeah, please. Chris, now there is when we are gonna finish the 19 games, because have we play Liverpool? No, not yet. Have we play Everton?
No.
Why we play Manchester United?
We haven't had the Rafa Derby.
Yes, Rafa Derby. Yeah. So why Manchester United? We play with them before Everton.
That's just the way there's no sense to the schedule. They just have to play every team twice. So the Manchester United, we played them away. Now we'll play them at home. It's interesting that it's the 27th, so it's not the day after Christmas in the UK. It's called Boxing Day because traditionally that was the day when you gave your servants a box.
Yeah, I know, but it's very weird. It's very weird to play Manchester United twice and we still didn't play with Everton.
Yeah, it's just the way that the schedule works. So in this, we're not playing on Boxing Day. We're playing the day after Boxing Day, the 27th.
But I believe boxing is for all teams. Why we didn't have any present?
Well, I think what's different this year is the days that Christmas, I think, falls on the weekend. So normally there's normally more matches played. So there's not. So if you want to think on the bright side, in a normal period, our December could be even worse because they could have put one more good team in the December period. Whereas because Christmas falls on the weekend, and that's when we normally play the games, there's not going to be an extra game that week. So we'll only play midweek and then weekend versus twice. Normally we have to play like very close to Christmas, right after Christmas, right before New Year, and right after New Year. But this is better this year because of just the way that the schedule falls on the weekend. Holidays.
Tom Dixon, Dubravka, Trippier, Cody, Trawiski, Luis, Shelby, Renato Sanchez, Joelinton, Lingard, St. Maximin, Wilson would love this lineup.
I don't think Tom is here because I asked him in the comments.
Yeah.
Who's our Sanchez? And he doesn't tell me.
Renato Sanchez, the one from Portuguese. He's a midfielder from Portugal.
Doesn't mean anything to me.
He play in I think French league, and he play in the Euros.
No more French league.
Okay.
Under Mike Ashley, we had the French. We bought all the French guys.
So yeah, and his hair is like, he's have a lot of hair. Anyway,
like mine could be.
no, it's different. Never style.
Grow it out. Yeah.
Okay. That's great. But I will tell this. I don't know if this is exclusive or not, but name Coutinho is spreading a lot in Saudi Arabia.
That was the first guy that was mentioned because he would be seen as like when Man City got bought by Abu Dhabi, they bought Robinho. So Coutinho could be our Robinho, like our big money signing. But the issue with him is he was on big money transfer to Barcelona from Liverpool, and has never lived up. He's never lived up to his Liverpool production at Barcelona. He's on huge wages. Barcelona has loaned him out to Bayern and other clubs. He doesn't have a place really at Barcelona, so they want to they want to get rid of him because he's on huge wages. But you couldn't put Coutinho in Newcastle and have him succeed because you just need more players around him. I think he's sort of like, not like ASM, but he's sort of like in the way that ASM is sort of out of place on our team, even with other good players, Wilson and stuff like that. ASM is a bit out of place because he plays a different style than the rest of the club. I think that would be how it would be to have Coutinho on the team. And I don't the owners have said we're not going to spend a lot of money on their first transfer window. The rumor was about 50 million. And that's about how much supposedly Coutinho was offered to Premier League clubs for 30, 40 million, and there was no takers. So the question is, would we spend sort of all of our perceived transfer budget on Coutinho for like 50 million just to bring him back to the Premier League and have this marquee signing? I think that the Newcastle owners have and the Saudis have learned a lot of lessons from the way that other takeovers have happened, whether it's Chelsea with Abramovich or Man City with Sheikh Mansour and the Abu Dhabi group. I don't think, like Robinho didn't work out for Man City. They spent a lot of money on these early guys, and most of them were flame out. So I don't think that Newcastle is going to fall in that same trap of making a big splashy signing, because the transfer market has really been depressed since COVID. There hasn't
but
been 100 million signing.
But we see, and you see like Jack Grealish went with 100. I think this price is break.
I think that was a mistake.
How much is Coutinho cost?
Like I said, the rumor was he was offered in the offseason for like 30 million and £2, and nobody took it.
Do you think he fit the criteria of Alan Shearer when he said we need someone in the middle with a bit of guile?
Guile. like what's your favorite? Dwight Gale.
Gale.
I honestly, I've kind of lost track of it because he's been injured and hasn't really played.
Yes, So I don't know why this been like around.
We've talked about this on one of our shows. Is that I think that they will follow the model of spending money on young players. So Coutinho is not young; he's 30, whatever.
Yes.
I think they will. They like and this some of like the people that Man City recently got, like those are the kind of players that we should have been picking up. The young players, 21, 22, 23, who are not yet in the prime of their career, but are coming into their prime rather than being past their prime. So we want players to come in, have their prime with us rather than have their prime somewhere else and then come to us.
I know. We talk about it before with the articles.
Yes.
One of the Saturdays, but I think it's very difficult to apply the protocol from now. You know, the protocol, how the way we choose the players, etc., etc. Now we need a rescue plan, and rescue plan is transfer market was to get the best available.
Yes, I mean honestly, I'm a little bit worried about who's picking the players, because we don't.
Definitely Eddie Howe have a big say in this.
Yes, but he can't do it all himself. There, you know, we still have Steve Nixon, the head scout from I don't know how. I guess they kept they had to keep the scouting system because it'll take a while for Eddie Howe to implement his own things. But we have Steve Nixon, the scout from Mike Ashley's days.
Yeah,
and
maybe.
Mike Ashley was so cheap that he put all the scouts on furlough, meaning that they were part of the government scheme to pay their wages but to not work. So they only since the club was bought in October have they brought back the scouts. So the scouts who weren't working are now working since October. So I think we're going to be. I'm not going to be surprised if the January window is a little quieter than we were expecting. Everyone's expecting this huge.
Yeah, no, it's not to be quiet.
I don't think it's going to be like that. I think
it's not. It's not going to be quiet.
We're going to be targeting. You know, it'll be better than it was under Ashley, but I don't think it'll be like. It's not going to be like Man City. Splash.
Yeah, actually, I'm planning to do maybe different kind of show for this special market. I don't know, but how. I will see how to do something interested.
Yes.
And you inspired me, Chris, to make an article, because now I have to make almost article every day. So could be Coutinho our Rubinho. Could be Coutinho our Rubinho.
Yes.
This is the title.
Good. My work is done.
Thank you for inspiration, Chris.
Okay.
Okay, we have Chris says, Tom, who is
This is me.
You know. Okay, all right. Malcolm Haig.
Hi,
I'm here. Lul.
LOL. Laugh out loud.
The fixture list used to be done by a guy at the Formula FL
with Football League.
Football League with a pencil and paper. He had certain rules to adhere to. Us. And the mechanisms cannot be at home on the same day. And common sense. Okay, Malcolm.
Now it's done by computer, yeah.
Now it's done by computer. So, common sense. Thank you. He's explained to me. Thank you, Malcolm.
Yes.
Thank you very much. So that was our coverage, Chris.
Wow.
That was our coverage, Chris. Thank you. What was that?
Oh no, they were interviewing some, I think, Saudi woman on the track.
Yeah, I think Reem Al Jafali. I just read something about her. Yeah.
Who is she?
Al Jafali. She's a driver.
Okay.
Of Formula 1. Okay. Thank you, Chris, for this coverage, and let's go and watch the real coverage.
Okay.
Cheers.
Masalama.
Masalama.
Take me home to the banks of the river Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine. It's a place I love best, 'cause it's better than the rest. Take me home to the banks of the river Tyne. Take me home to the banks of the river Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine. It's a place I love best. Yes, it's better than the rest. Take me home to the banks of the river Tyne.
بالنسبه لما يجيك ستيف بروس مثلا يحط لك 5 في خط الدفاع،
يلعب مهاجمين.
Excuse me.
اللاعبين اللي في النص.
What is your VPN?
My VPN?
Yes.
My VPN is Spider VPN.